back to Wise Men Company, everyone. Ben Brown here, and today we have a versus video. We have the Cloud Defensive Owl versus the Surefire M600 dual fuel. There's a couple of videos out, to say the least, on these two lights, some of which are versus with one another. I like versus videos because it really shows the contrasts of characteristics between two products. It's not about which one is better than the other in my mind, because different products are better for different people in different roles. So it's really not about who wins or loses and which one I pick at the end of the video, but more about which one is going to work best for you guys. And in this video, these two lights share some similar specs, but they do some things also different from one another. Flashlights, just like firearms, again, are user specific. If at the end of the video, I say I like the Cloud Defensive Owl better than the Surefire DF, maybe that's because I need it in a certain role or in a certain capacity, which is far different than what you might need it for. So take that with a grain of salt, and we're gonna start this versus video right now. Let's roll in the specs, because that's what everybody wants to see, specs side by side, and it's honestly the most boring part in my opinion. So let's look at the specs side by side. As you can see, very similar in specs. The Cloud Defensive Owl pushing out around a 1.5 hour runtime with 1500, 1200 lumenish, depending on which battery you put in. The Cloud Defensive Owl comes with two batteries. One has a longer runtime, the other has a higher output, obviously with a shorter runtime. The Surefire DF is dual fuel, like it states, so you can use the 18650 batteries or you can use CR123s. The CR123s are gonna give a little less output. You're gonna burn through those. You obviously can't recharge those. The 18650 is gonna put the Surefire dual fuel with a 1500 lumen output. It's pretty darn good. That's a lot of lumens. A lot of people care about lumens when we talk about flashlights, but as you can see, the trend is also starting to talk about candela as well. A lot of people talking about candela. What's the difference? Lumens measures the output of a light. Candela measures the focus at a point of the beam. Candela, high candela, is really good for concentrated, far out targets. If you really need to spotlight something, high lumens is that flooding of light, filling up a room with light. And for a long time, people just talked about lumens, but now candela's in the conversation, which is great. So as we're looking at the specs, you can see a stark difference in the candela between these two lights. The Cloud Defensive Owl has 50,000 candela, while the Surefire has 16,000 candela. You're gonna see this in the video of the concentration of the beam. It's gonna be a stark difference. And again, that's just candela. Maybe you need more candela, maybe you don't. Depends on the application, right? Okay, let's keep moving forward. Weight, this is a big deal for me. This is a kind of make or break. The Surefire dual fuel coming in right around 5.5, 6 ounces on my scale. And the Cloud Defensive Owl is coming in over 11 ounces in weight. That is heavy. That is really heavy. That's like adding a suppressor to the front of the gun. And then you got the Cloud Defensive Owl in conjunction with that. It is a heavy front end. The weight is justified with the Cloud Defensive. This is one of the toughest lights on the market. There are a ton of torture tests on the Cloud Defensive Owl. It is big, bulky, robust. It's a tank, and the weight reflects that. The Surefire dual fuel, lightweight, nimble, skinny tube, although the tube is bigger than the regular M600 line of lights because it is using that 18650 battery. But for the most part, it's still slim in profile and fairly lightweight, comparatively speaking, to the Cloud Defensive Owl. All right, let's talk about price. Everybody wants to know, what are these great lights gonna run me? Cloud Defensive Owl, 360 bucks. That's expensive, but you're gonna get a lot of gizmos and gadgets with it. They give you a lot of support with this light. You are going to get a charger. You're gonna get plugs for your vehicle and for a wall. You're gonna get 2 batteries with it, like I stated before. And it comes with the pressure pad. The pressure pad is built into it. More on the ergonomics of it and the use of it in a little bit. We're just talking about price right now. So with price, you're getting a lot of stuff with it. You're getting a lot of components, things to help you use your owl for a long, long time. Not to mention it has a lifetime warranty. If you bust it or break it, you can send it back. They're gonna fix it. So $360. Over to the Surefire Dual Fuel. You're around $300 for the standard mounting option, which is what everyone has known out of Surefire for a long time. Although Surefire has now dropped their Pro Series, which has a mechanism on it that allows the tube of the flashlight to change positions. So you can actually rotate it down or up depending on what rail you have or what kind of lasers you have on the front of your gun. So you can make a better fit with their light. And honestly, it's a much welcomed improvement. I like the ability to adjust the cant of the light so I can fit it exactly how I want it on the front of my rail. So with the Pro Series, you're gonna pay a little bit more. I think it's around $320, $330. You're gonna get one battery with that Surefire, and that battery is charged via a micro USB cable that comes with it. You're simply plugging straight into the battery, which I don't know about for you guys. For me, I was like, do they really want me just to plug this battery into my wall? And yeah, you just plug it into your wall and your battery charges when it charges. You can't really tell when it's fully charged because there's no gauges or anything. It's just, you leave it on there for a while and hopefully it's fully charged. With the Cloud Defensive battery charger, it's very, very thorough. You can see your level of charge. If it's charging, it gives you all sorts of data on that charge pack. It's a really nice addition when we're talking about overall price and what you're getting with that price. The Cloud Defensive is definitely a bargain for, again, all the accoutrements that you're getting with it. Accoutrements? Let's talk about using these lights, because this is where it got really interesting for me. Starting off with the Cloud Defensive Owl, it is an all one-piece design. As you can see here, your pressure pad's built in. It's integrated into the tube. I like it. It works really nice. It's easy to get to, tactile. Press it once quickly, and you're gonna get a constant on. If you hold it and let off, that's momentary. This whole system is toolless because the actual light is the tool to take this light on and off. The tail cap unscrews and you can loosen it and take it off your rail. So you're not messing around with flathead screwdrivers or Allen keys, anything like that. Just a really nice touch there that it's toolless. You can swap it to either side. You simply just switch the tail cap and the head around and flip it around, and you can use it on the left side of the gun. As you can see here, I'm running it on the right side of the gun. Very easy to get to. Very, very nicely designed. The only downside is that you can't really shift the light ahead of the pressure pad if you wanted to. It is basically right in line with it. You're not gonna be able to adjust this anymore, where you're getting the light out in front and you're gonna get, maybe less suppressor shadow or less barrel shadow. So it is what it is. This is how it's configured. You can either flop it to the right or to the left, and voila, that's all you got. So usability, as far as functioning the light, making the light work, really good. The only thing I would like is the ability to push that light out a little further to the front of the gun. When I was shooting the Cloud Defensive Owl at night, the high candela was evident and it was very valuable at distance. Whew. The owl can definitely reach that far. Getting back to 150 yards, I could still make out targets, and it was kind of a hazy night. It was a little, it wasn't foggy, I don't know, it was just kind of hazy out. It was really warm, had some tall grass in there, and it pushed through, cut through that at 150 yards, and I was still able to make hits. Now, it was straining a little bit for my eyes. It probably wasn't good enough for a positive ID, but I could definitely tell where targets were. Could I tell if a target might have been holding something specific in their hand, or what the target looked like, if it had facial features or anything? No, definitely not. Couldn't tell that, but I could definitely tell there were targets out there and I could make hits. So, candela, very valuable. That was great for pushing out at distance, and it definitely was appreciated. Going over to the Surefire, talking about usability, The Surefire is known for its tail switches. You can get pressure pads, or you can use the clicky tail cap on the back. No surprises there. The best part of the new Surefire mounting system is the ability, again, to rotate that tube wherever you need to rotate it in order to fit the front rail and all your accessories properly. So that's one upgrade on the Surefire. As far as the actual beam goes and making hits on target, big flood, a lot of light in a lot of area, which is nice if you're up close and if you're trying to take in a lot of data. But as soon as I got back to that 150-yard area, I could not see targets. I could not make positive ID at all, for sure. And if I was taking shots, it was honestly just a guess at where they were at. So less candela, significantly less candela on that Surefire at around 16,000, 15,000 candela. I couldn't stretch out with it. Now, does that mean it's a bad light? No, it just means it's better for other circumstances, other situations. So a stark contrast between the two at distance, and then up close, they both worked great. Obviously, the Surefire had a little bit more flood, a little bit more all-encompassing light to pick up more information. So which one did I pick? Well, it came down to weight, and I went with the Surefire Dual Fuel. I think that's the one I'd pick if I could only have one. The weight on the Cloud Defensive OWL was really, really heavy. Running it with a suppressor made the front of the gun very, very front heavy. And if you added anything else out there, you know, like a PEC, any type of laser system, foregrip, anything like that, it was just a ton of weight out in the front. Now, you could say that's a little bit of a nitpick. Oh, just get in the gym, you weenie. And yeah, I could get it in the gym more, but then these bunk beds wouldn't be able to fit through doorways. So don't tell me to get in the gym. In reality, yeah, it's a little bit of a nitpick. But I have to choose one. This is a versus video, right? The Surefire Dual Fuel, I can use in a lot of different capacities. There's a lot of flood, fills up rooms for, you know, maybe home defense situations, around the home, maybe a little bit at the range. I can get more use out of the higher lumen output than I can the candela. Not to say that I don't like higher candela. It was really nice pushing out with that Cloud Defensive OWL. Clear difference in the ability to see targets further away. I'm just talking about for the applications that I need. The Surefire Dual Fuel M600 series makes a little bit more sense. I like the lighter weight. I'm still going to keep this Cloud Defensive OWL. I like it. This cloud, where'd it go? I'm going to keep it. I really like the light. It's going to stay on this CZ Scorpion, mainly because this is one of my lighter firearms. It's also very short and compact, so the center of gravity is a little bit tighter, smaller, if you will. I do run a can on the front of this sometimes, and it hasn't been that bad running a can on this with the Cloud Defensive OWL. So this is probably where it'll stay. It's maybe a little bit of overkill for this platform. All right, guys, leave me a comment down below. Which one would you pick? Am I crazy? Let me know what your experiences are. Check out both of these companies, Surefire, if you haven't already, and Cloud Defensive. Both make great lights, and they're great people. So go check out both companies, see which one's going to work best for you. But leave me a comment down below because I want to talk with you guys about it. My name's Ben Brown. Thank you for hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel. Go over to wisemancompany.com. A lot of great gear over there for you guys to pick up. I'll see you on the next video.